really thought they'd sway. No setup, no payoff, just for shocking display. They barbecued her main night after filling his head with worldly play. Everything's gone gay and lame, oh what a shame. Dragons used to roar, now they're just a flicker of flame. Demons are sent for us and caught in a dreamer's game. 5 episodes of bad dreams, everything's not the same.
Nothing is the same anymore, people. It has just gone down the tubes, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to, I hit it twice. Hey, welcome. It is Monday night, and yes, House of the Dragon is over, but we're doing a recap. We're going to do a recap of the season and see if it is as bad as we felt last time. All right, we just got two great people to join us, but I'll start with my friend that I was talking backstage about how bad this was, Miss Martin Muses. How are you?
Fine. I'm feeling like I need to rage about something, so this is going to be amazing. Because the more you think about it, the angrier you get.
Yep, I'm with you. Thank you for being here. Tina is having some issues, it looks like. Stig, how are you, my friend? Thank you for being here.
I did quite well. It's like, remember when I told everyone what would happen during season one?
Mm-hmm.
It happened. It's always patterns.
It's terrible, dude. And you know, you're right. I think we talked about it last year, and we've noticed the pattern, but you nailed it. And what I've been saying a while too is a lot of the shows that I like, you know, the first season is always the first season is good, but then you get the season 2 where either their true objective comes out or, executive notes start piling up because now it's a really hit show. So everybody has their fingers in the cookie jar. But I think the biggest sign was when the director of, oh God, I forgot his name just now. The one that directed the Battle of the Bastards and The Short Night. Yeah. When he left and his wife, I assumed that was a good thing. And I'm realizing now they must have saw the writing on the wall and got the hell out.
Or he got a different job. But you're right, True. Though. Usually they try to stick to the source material in the first season because they want to hook the inbuilt audience that the franchise comes with.
Right.
You know, so that would be the book readers.
Yep.
And then afterwards, when it's become a success, they start putting their own stuff in it. And I mean, The Witcher is a prime example. You know, granted that season 1 didn't stick that closely to the books, but whenever they did a Monster of the Week episode in a way that was based on one of the short stories, they nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was actually not just it wasn't just focused on, it was focused on the main character. That was for the most part. For the most part,
the books are focused on 2 characters. Is it
Yennefer and?
No, it's Geralt and Ciri.
All right.
So it is a bit. It's 60% Geralt, 40% Ciri, but Ciri is the main, the chosen one. Yeah, but so having a lot of Ciri is just fine, but all the other ones.
Season 2, that was weird.
Yeah, Yennefer doesn't do that much in the books. She even vanishes for a whole book.
Yeah, that's weird. We're early today because I have to work early tomorrow, and actually my daughters are away for the week with my brother and his family, and all we have is my son, so I'm actually going to have time to hang out with my wife tonight and watch some Beatles stuff, and we're going to have fun. I was going to say, you remember, I don't know if you saw the video I made before, and I'll get to you, Tina, because I love you, but there was a video I made after whatever that weird offshoot of The Witcher was, where it was like following the creation of The Witcher.
And they got absolutely everything wrong.
Yeah, well, I made
because only humans can be witchers, and then there's an elf witcher. No, that's not possible. They don't have the DNA for it.
Yeah,
and they were
the
so
whole idea.
Overpowered, and they were overpowered. I remember, wasn't it like, didn't we have a little person They're playing a troll-like character with a big hammer, and she
Yep.
was super powered. And
Oh God, yeah.
sad.
Well, I made a call on that one because I know they're coming out with that season with what's his name taking the role.
Yeah.
One of the Hemsworths. I made the call at the very end of that season. You see the one wizard show up, elf wizard show up, or whatever he is, and it's like at that very point where Geralt sees Suri for the first time, where she's playing dice with those kids, and I said they're going to rewrite they're going to just rewrite what happened. It's going to be like a branch timeline type thing. It's going to be stupid, and I still am sticking to that. There was an article if you want to go check out.
I would not.
I remember that. That was a good video. I remember that one.
Thank you very much.
They panicked when the fans turned on them after season 2, and Apple was panicking, and rather not panicking, but being pissed.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, next season we're going to focus on the books, way more. Like, well, that's, won't matter because you already wrecked the story by diverging from it anyway. You can't just glue it back on where it no longer makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how they roll. We'll talk about some more stuff because, this show isn't just about A Song of Ice and Fire anymore. We're going to be doing other fantasy genres and shows. So, we could get into that later. But Tina, how are you tonight? And thank you for being here, Stick.
I'm doing pretty well. It was a productive Monday, which for me, it's usually kind of a, drag myself. I literally go 6 feet from the bed to my computer, just drag myself across the room, try to log on by 8:05, begrudgingly with an IV of coffee. But you know what? I had a good night's sleep. I got up, I worked, I got a lot accomplished. It was a great day. And I obviously can't tell time because I saw 6:30 and went, oh, that's good. I'll have plenty of time to blah, 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 blah. I didn't do the time zone math.
Yeah. Well,
whoopsie.
That's okay. I apologize for changing it on people, but we might even go to 7 for now if that works for everybody, but we'll talk about it. There, we were just talking about bounding into comics. What's up, Spencer? How are you, sir? We were talking about that fantastic article about me. Anyways, so we're going to get talking about the recap of House of the Dragon season 2. Because I want to go over the whole thing, starting with the shit show that was episode 1, Son for Son, and going all the way through the finale, which was, I don't even care what it was called. I think it's The Queen Who Ever Was. The Queen Who Ever Was, a play on words. Because, there was the Queen Who Never Was. Anyways,
the Queen who clever never was.
Yes, exactly. Who was too weak because she was a woman to be king or queen. So let's talk about this. As a whole, I can't wait to talk to Teresa. I'm going to leave you for last. As a whole, the season 2 as a whole, 1 through 10, 10 being the best. Tina, what do you give this season?
I have to do the half points because
okay, that's fine. That's fine. They're in there.
Because I don't know. I'm one of those things where I just can't pick. I'm doing 6.5, and that's because I feel like I can't give a D to a season that had such amazing moments.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the only reason why. Because I'm an old school teacher, and I'm like, I can't give a D.
Yep.
Actually, a 65 is really still a D anyway. But it's getting closer to a D plus. I
feel like you're grading on a curve, but that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. I agree that I am. And
I hope you have those moments written down because I'm only remembering like 2. Stig, what would you give this season as a whole?
Story-wise, or rather writing-wise, I'd give it a 2.
Okay.
Because some of the dialogue was fantastic, and the actors were great, superb,
great. Yeah.
Visually, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. So we'll say it's about a 5-ish in all.
No. Well, no. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. I'm with you though with the actors, the CGI, The world itself was gorgeous, but the writing was terrible.
Yeah.
I'll give
And,
the writing a 1.5 myself.
The writing is the most important because it is a story, right?
Yep. Yeah, it really is. It's all about the story. And I'm going to say this wrong. I don't know how to pronounce your awesome name, but never watched season 2, lost interest after 1. You are the lucky one. You are the lucky one. Okay.
You know, since Tina gave it a D, she graded it a D. That means she degraded the show.
She gave it a hot D. Nice, nice. All right, so let's see. Teresa, what would you say about this season as a whole?
Well, I already said it and we all got in trouble apparently. I said what, a 1 out of 10 and then a -20 for the
for a season. Yeah.
Perhaps
some people. No, I was just going to say some people have taken. I've gotten a couple comments on videos where they took offense to you referring to it as equal to season 8. And I just think they think season 8 was that terrible, but you have your reasons. And I think it's more season 7, but you thought it was season 8 and I back you for that. I back you all the way on that one too. But please go on.
Well, yeah, because of the nonsensical dialogue and especially with Damon coming around and going, we have a story. See how it rhymed with the whole
after seeing Daenerys and stuff. Yeah.
Brand
who has Bran the Broken. Bran the Broken is the greatest king because his story. Yeah, you said the Builder. I wish we had Bran the Builder. That would be great.
That is awesome.
Oh, that's a meme waiting to happen.
Yep. Yeah. It was terrible. I loved season 1. Like I was going into it so ready not to like it, where I usually don't do that. I try to go into everything pretty even because I don't want to be one of those people that hates just to hate and then throws it on YouTube. But I was pleasantly surprised with season 1. There were some issues with season 1. We pointed them out as we went along, changing the story a bit. But in season 2, it was like they took this book and we're just like, threw it out the freaking window. And we're just like, no. Once again, like a Dan and Dave, we could do better. We could do better. And, season 1 through 4 and maybe even 6 of Game of Thrones was fantastic. The writing was great because it was George's writing. I understand this has less quotes, less like dialogue to draw from. And you really see the inadequate ability of writers in modern Hollywood to even sound like they are in a fantasy world. You know what I mean? Like at times it felt like they were not in they were, come on, Allison, like it just didn't feel that way. I don't know.
I actually read some newer D&D comics and they had the same problem that the characters were using modern day terminology and phrases in, a medieval fantasy society on a different planet. So I think the problem is the new generation of writers.
What didn't they read? What didn't they get? That was maybe it was the fantasy movies and series they got growing up.
No, it's the instant gratification generation.
Yeah. And they don't have to show the technical side of writing. It's just like, I inserted myself into this and that's all it needs. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's this character is great. How can I make this character represent me?
Right.
Like
the half Asian Batman, because that woman wanted to insert herself into the Batman comics. I don't know if you guys read that one. That was like a year or two ago. Making the wife Martha brought the money into the Wayne family. It wasn't the Waynes. It was like, it was such a shit show. I forgot what run that, or if it was a comic. Yeah, it was a comic run. I just don't remember what it was. Or was it that? No, it was that. I'm sorry. It was that high school version of Gotham.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you're right. With all the characters were teenagers.
Yeah. That's
Well,
just
here's a question. Everyone on the panel likes Beverly Hills Cop, right?
Yeah, of course.
The first one.
Yeah.
How many of you felt you needed to be represented when you watched that movie?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I never did. I just liked the movie. It was awesome.
Well, that's like when I was a kid, I liked Good Times. And Good Times was about a black family in lower income New York. And it was like, I didn't need to feel represented. I understand family dynamic. You know what I mean? Like they're so on the like outside face value of things and not looking at like emotional connection people have. I don't know if either one of you ladies.
Well,
Wow.
If you can only be represented by a skin color, you're only skin deep to begin with as a person.
Truth.
Yeah.
The ladies, first, Mr. Grant Gregory, how are you?
Hello.
I'm loving that avatar. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's on by Extra Zero.
I freaking love it.
Very cool.
But I want to ask the ladies first, and then we'll get your take on the season as a whole. What do you guys think? It really is that they're just kind of, it's that face value. It almost felt like they wrote to be like reactionary. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, they didn't really get into the characters' minds. They're like, oh, we're going to make her a dreamer. And by episode 4, she's going to forget her kid even died. You know, like,
yeah,
stupid. Teresa?
Well, I would say that when to talk about representation, as a woman, I was not represented, even though there were more women than you could possibly imagine, because they were not real women. They were like archetypes. This is what I think what you were seeing is that they were talking from one part of our different culture. It was as though each of them were an account you would see on Twitter. Mouthing off about the patriarchy in different ways from their different perspectives, but they had one dimension. They didn't have the complexity that is a part of being a woman. They just thought to have women, you just have to have women on there. Here's a really good example. Larry McMurtry, when he wrote Lonesome Dove, he wrote 2 amazing women characters. There was Lorena, and then there was, it went out of my head, Clara. And this is a man, an old white man, who crafted probably 2 of the greatest Western women characters ever. And that is, and I was like, that's what it's like to be a woman, even though, it was in the West. It was marvelous. It was complex.
Right.
That's what they should have been doing with Rhaenyra. It was, and Allison. Oh my gosh, they turned. Oh, don't get me started on what they did.
No. Get started. We'll get started.
Okay.
Feel free. Feel free.
Well, look what we have with Allison. I think they did a really good job in season 1, kind of showing her, without telling, about what it was like to be a 15-year-old girl chosen to be the queen with this old dude. There was a really great scene where you're seeing her doing her conjugal duties, and she's just
like
kind of staring at the ceiling while this old dude is on her. Yeah,
humping away.
And then next, she's just pregnant. That told a lot. I mean, because it is true that it sucked to be a woman, especially in those kind of worlds. We know that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that. And that just said 1,000 words. And then you saw how desperate she was to protect her children. That was part of she was so in favor of putting Aegon on the throne.
Right.
And that's why it was so nonsensical at the last second when they added the prophecy, because during the whole season, she was terrified. She just kept telling Aegon, you are the threat. You are the threat. And you're going to be killed. Don't you understand that that's the only way to solve this? And then you get this season where she's just floundering from, now she's having sex. Now she's lost her grandkid and doesn't seem to care. And then she's like, they kick her off the council, which didn't happen in the source material. And then she's like, wait, everything I did, they all turn on me. What do I do? This is what I'll do. I'll betray everybody.
Yeah. I'll punk my son out till he goes to a battle he's not supposed to be in. When she punks out Aegon, so he decides to fly into a battle he wasn't prepped for. Like, you're 100%. 100%,
Yeah.
Lisa.
It's,
Preach on, sister.
Yeah, and again, was it on here that we joked that the characters were also watching Twitter?
Yes.
It might have been. I forget who
I think
said it.
I think you might have said it on a different one, but you told us. Yeah, you brought it up on this.
It's like they're reading the things. Now, what I think is happening, I think that the writers are reading social media and responding. Yeah. That's why it's just coming across. I mean, see, here's something that Ryan Johnson, even though he's a total PRICK, when he said no to Mark Hamill, we got to focus on the story we're telling. He was kind of right about that. He says, you can't think about the fans, you can't think whatever, you got to focus on the story. Right. Of course, Ryan Johnson, his whole premise for the story was wrong, but there is truth about that.
He had a story.
He had a story, stick to it, and you've just got to tell it and stand by it and do the best story that you can.
Right. It was shit, but it was definitely, you can comprehend why people were, well, not from history, but in that moment, why people were doing what they were doing in that movie, even though it was it was completely wrong what he did to Star Wars. He stuck to his guns, and you understood his story as it went on. This, like I said,
to do it?
Yeah,
Dave Filoni. It's actually
we know that.
It's actually in the book Lucasfilm released. It's an excerpt from the meeting they had when they planned it. Yeah, he's the one who came up with how Luke was to be shown.
That answers so many of my questions. What a prick.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Grant.
But you know what I'm saying? He said you can't think of the fans. You can't think of the fans. You can't think about what they're going to say. We've got to stay focused. So a quote taken out of context by Ryan Johnson, I think, makes perfect sense. That it seems like these writers have not done up to and including checking all the box. Now that probably did come from HBO, but that's why they gender changed. I'm going to be careful to say gender change because I still don't know what they did with Sherika Lahar, but that was nonsensical. Why did they do that? And all the other changes that they have done, it has.
We know why they did that. HBO. We know why they did that. That's a checkbox. Like, look at us. We have a transgendered person from YouTube, and we're going to make a little joke about it.
With modern day dentals.
Yeah, exactly. Tina, real quick, what did you think? Do you agree that the writing is not like, look at George R.R. Martin. I mean, he writes like he really is that character. He becomes the character and writes them as they are: woman, male, black, white, gay, straight. He's really good at getting in the mind of his own characters. What do you feel about House of the Dragon season 2 writing?
I understand that in the writing they.
We're losing you. That keeps happening to you. That was probably a really powerful moment too. Do you guys?
I was about ready to say. I wanted to hear it.
All right, Tina, we can't hear you, but when we can, we'll finish with you. Grant, what do you think?
Yeah, so I think the biggest problem that I found with the overall season was they didn't have much to go on for characters in the book, so they tried to focus heavily on characters and they pushed the story to the side because the story's there, but then because they were constantly creating and changing things, they got it in their head that these are their characters and this is their story, so they can change whatever they want. And little ripple effects here and there make a huge tidal wave somewhere down the line, except the difference is instead of doing that, they decided just to drop a few hundred boulders into the river at the time. And like as I said, my favorite character throughout the entire process was Mushroom. I love the idea of a guy, and it made perfect sense. The guy who was a fool that he had no political power. He was just a guy that hung around and survived. But he was powerful because he had the one thing that not everyone had. He had information.
Yes. And he held on to he used it like currency.
Information. And that's the thing. He was able to use it. He wasn't like Littlefinger who was trying to go through power. He just wanted to. He was like Varys more. Yeah,
I would say he was more like a Varys.
If Varys gave into all of his carnal desires, that's Mushroom.
Had a penis. Yeah. Still probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was. I can't remember how it was described, but essentially like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, if he doesn't exist, yet they're taking all of his quotes, all of his actions, and all of his things, and they're giving it to random characters where no one was around to hear it.
Right.
It's it's done. If you're going to include all these sort of stuff in there, and you're going to do that, include the characters. Removing Nettles is the thing that, like, okay, I say removing Nettles, Maylor, like, I mean, that obviously that.
Yeah, well, let's go
huge...
there. Let's start with episode 1. Son for a son, a son for a son.
I enjoyed the episode up until the end because for me the whole point of the ending, it is that choice, and it's what that single choice that she does defines the rest of her. Like she straight out went, no, that's my son, kill it. By the way, I'm cool now, I'm powerful, I can do what I want. No grief, no fucking grief whatsoever.
Well, let's just start with the episode. You have, okay, as much as I've never liked Cole. Even in the book, I didn't like him, but you get the idea that there might have been some relationship between him and Rhaenyra. It's implied there could have been something that happened, but he felt he needed to support Aegon the Male, and he was the kingmaker. This, going from last season where he was just complete simp for Rhaenyra to season 2 where he's a complete simp for Alicent, and it's like, this guy, you're telling us this is the truth, that all his like decisions are based on a woman's desire.
So I guess it's true. Lowborns have no morals,
right? And that's what they prove.
That.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Stig.
And once a simp, always a simp.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to see him like dedicated to this, maybe even, fueling it is that hatred of Rhaenyra, but him turning it into his honorable duty. But no, he's sleeping with the queen, the queen mom or the mum. And he is just not a decent human being at all. And I think that's what we get from the majority of them. None of them are decent human beings. And you get that in Game of Thrones, but you at least have a Ned Stark. You have a Rob. You have other people from around, the world of Westeros that were at least decent, but may had to make decisions because of what life presented them. They're just all just miserable, terrible people.
But it's supposed to be. They're not supposed to all be arseholes. They're supposed to be all morally grey. That's the point. Like, absolutely. Alicent is a huge bitch in the books, which we now know she was actually, God sent. It was just evil men that wrote her that way after.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, that was the word. Oh my God, we'll talk about that when we get to episode 9. But that was terrible. That was freaking terrible. But go on.
Yeah. So, like, I forgot my point because I just remembered that. I just remember that scene and started eternally screaming.
She was supposed to be this horrible,
She's supposed to be this horrible, like this person. But what she said and what she did made sense for the character. We just didn't like her as a character. Now she's supposed to be this like fucking Mother Teresa sort of character. Mm-hmm. Yet remember, she also tried to cut out the eye of a child in the previous. People forget that. No, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's again, and we'll see that as we go on. What I said last week, I'm standing by. It was almost like the writers were not allowed to talk to each other for each episode. And maybe they did like, okay, this group does evens, this group does odds, because it seemed like if you take it that way, the characters may kind of line up, the even ones and the odd numbered episodes, they line up. But when you put it as a whole, characters switch their complete personality and what they remember from the episode before. It's ridiculous. So we find out she has this relationship with him. You get introduced to the Hulls, the sons, the bastard sons, or son. We only see Adam in this one. No, not Adam. Is it Adam we see? This one.
That's Alan. That's Alan.
Alan, thank you. We get to meet Alan, and we have the queen that never was is like the only one supporting Rhaenyra in this episode, and she is devastated over the death of her son from the tragic accident. It wasn't meant. He didn't mean to kill him, but Vhagar just did what Vhagar wanted to do. Yeah, once again, no one could be blamed for any action in this series. That's another thing that really pissed me off.
This is literally a series of unfortunate events.
It really,
Like,
lemony shittits. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tina, what were you saying before that was powerful, and then you got?
Man, I was working up to a major point, and I apologize. We had a storm coming through, and literally like power surged. Not fun stuff. But well, I was trying to get to the point that they were taking some things away from Jace and giving them to Rhaenyra, so they could show her trying to be a powerful leader.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of her having great negotiations or even all-out arguments with her council,
Right.
saying, no, I want to do this for this reason, no, you need to do it for that reason, and back and forth, they had her run off and do things on her own without talking to anybody, like like an amateur, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, when she was like, these people aren't respecting me, what did she do? She slapped a guy and said, you people have forgotten how to fear me.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you a strong leader. That doesn't make you a wonderful,
No, you're like
wonderful
unhinged.
queen.
Right.
Exactly. So so that was the part that really upset me about how they were taking those.
It was a good
characters.
line, though. I like
Right.
the line.
It was
was
a good line, absolutely. But she could have done something else to say, you forgot to fear me, like, hey, so and so, take so and so outside and give him some hard labor until he learns to fear me again, or
just the idea of it. Don't do anything to him. Just remind him you are of the dragon. And with that comment, that would have been better. But again, we have another. They didn't follow the books really. It was like a loose outline. The book. So in the story in the book, Daemon was already in Harrenhal when Jace I always screw them up.
Luke died.
Thank you. When Luke dies, and he sends a letter to Rhaenyra saying, like a son for a son.
Yeah,
okay?
don't you worry. Like we'll avenge him. His death will not go in vain. And then he sends a letter directly to the Greens.
Right, and right, exactly. And what that letter says, what again? I'm blanking.
Well, he sends it to the Black Council.
Oh, that's right.
He sends a raven to the Black Council and says, "A son for a son, an eye for an eye, a son for a son. Lucerys will be revenged."
Right.
So he's telling that to the Black Council.
Right, but in this one, Rhaenyra is. I think this episode she goes into King's Landing, right? And meets with that's before this happens.
The first episode is Rhaenyra's best episode. She has one line, like 4 words.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's not. She's just searching for Luke's remains.
Yeah, she's completely beside herself. All her actions and everything have come back to bite her, and the first casualty of it is her own son.
Right, and they show her being a weak queen. A weak queen. They
show her being an actual mum.
Yeah, they do show her being a mom, but they show her being a weak queen, not being able to even go into the council meeting and talking to her council. All she says, is she wants revenge. That's it. And
well, I mean, that was the same in the books, that she was completely distraught with grief that Daemon went, all right, I got to sort this out.
Am I misremembering that? I thought. Oh yes,
she was catatonic almost through.
That is right. That is right. I am sorry.
She was useless for almost a month, and it was Jacaerys,
like a woman would be.
Exactly. Well, but Jacaerys at home in Dragonstone, and Daemon at Harrenhal. The two of them were running the show. So
right.
Yeah, because it was the trifectas of death. It was a dad, her daughter, and a son.
Yes, and they never. Right, the unborn, baby,
which
the
they
dad.
Never mention again.
Again, they never mention any of the deaths again on both sides, which is really weird. No one ever thinks about it or looks back unless they say I'm over it. So yeah, we get the son for the son. Daemon. This is the episode he does sneak into King's Landing, right? Because it happens in this episode, or is the second episode Blood and Cheese?
Right at the end.
Okay. All right. We did get this one awesome moment with Cregan Stark, who I wish we got to see more of. Because the actor was like what we want in a northern Lord.
Do you think that they're gonna cast him as the older version
I
when
was
he's
wondering that too.
when he's the hand and everything? Like,
But
because
it's
he's a
only a
gruff.
year later.
But what I'm saying is he's supposed to be this old, gruff, battle tested.
Yeah, like in his like late 30s though. I don't think he's supposed to be too old. In that world, he's old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they already. I mean, you can't make this guy a year and a half later, this old man. So they're gonna have to have him. But
they did it with Jace.
What they did do though is imply that the Starks know the legend of the Long Night at this time. So, for almost over 9,900 years, they knew the legend, but in the next 174, it's nothing. They forget it.
It was what's his name? It was Ned's brother. They just forgot to tell him. That's all it was.
No, you think it was, like he might have learned it maybe at Castle Black because they saw some whites. This implies the Starks forgot about this maybe a generation later. Oh, we lost Tina again? She just backstage. Okay. So they tell the story, kind of imply the Long Night's coming. I have to focus north. We'll send you some old boys. He finds out about his brother just dead.
Graybeards, not old boys. Have a bit of respect.
Graybeards. Thank you, Soul Assassin. So we then, we're not going to go over the whole, I don't know why I'm doing this. We're just supposed to like kind of cover the episode real quick. What pissed me off the most about this episode was the whole ending with blood and cheese. I don't know about you guys, but they got that completely wrong.
Yeah. They just missed the whole point.
Completely.
It wasn't about the grotesqueness of the kill. It was about the fact of the matter is she made a decision and then had to live with the fact that her decision was the thing that got her son killed.
Right. So
and that completely shapes her entire character. Yet this time she flat out says, "No, this is the one. I'm telling the truth. Kill this one. I want to save the girl. Yeah. I'm not going to mention it again. I'm going to say the boy in 2 more episodes, and then that's it."
Yeah. Okay. So if people that didn't read the books, Helena, who is a dreamer in the show, which was kind of a cool take on it, at least at the very beginning. In the book, she isn't. She is a bubbly, sweet girl who has
loves nothing more than to ride a dragon.
Yes, she has a twin boy and girl, and then a younger son. Well, in the show, they got rid of the younger son. He was never born, and when this decision is made in the books, they say, choose which son you want dead. And she doesn't want to. She offers everything, and they're like, no, or we'll kill them both. So she chooses the younger son because he's not the heir, and hoping he, being so little, it would be quick over, and he didn't even know what happened. And they decide, because she chose the younger one, they kill the older one, who is the heir, and to tell the little one, see, boy, mommy doesn't love you.
Your mother wants you dead.
Yeah, your mother wants you dead. Even worse. It's such a powerful, like terrible moment in the book. And they belittle it. They kind of turn it into 2 bumbling idiots trying to get this done, stumble in. Allison isn't even in the room when she was in the books. She's banging, the Cole, and Cole's not on guard. That's another reason, but no real well, I guess he feels about it at the last episode. But she actually points out her son. She points him out, knowing he's the heir, because they couldn't tell the difference between the boy and the girl. Points out the son. And the cheese is like, I believe her. I'm a terrible gambler and all, but I believe she's telling us the truth. And they kill the son. And they cry about it for a half episode. That's about it. And then it's never really worried again till like 3 episodes later, where she's like, I'm over it.
Do you think they took out Maelor so that they could give Aemon, or there could be more weight to the Aemon wanting to be in charge and be king as the second son who?
Oh yeah, but it was. I hate that.
I think it's more petty than that. I think because of how Malor gets his end by a big fat retarded woman killing him by smothering him, they didn't want to show that, so they removed the character completely.
Ooh, that's a
I
good
forgot
call.
about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's probably it. I don't know, man. Don't
Well,
worry
they
about
claimed it was because they did the time compression. They couldn't because remember they compressed 30 years into 20 years.
Yeah.
So that's the official answer, which might kind of be true. They might be that petty because,
Right.
or not petty. Maybe that's not the
Stupid.
right word to describe. Yeah, because they wanted Rhaenyra and Alicent to be the same ages and all that, and so Helena would not have had time to have had another baby in the timeline that they established. That's what Ryan Condal said. And I think it's just that ridiculous. I mean, all of those are probably good answers too, but it was just
they're the ones that are controlling the time. Why do that?
Yeah.
What's the benefit of it?
It doesn't help the story. You have now Aemon, the villain of his own family, where Aemon literally protects his brother's crown. Like
he was a staunch loyalist.
Right. It doesn't show you the side of him that is actually honorable. It shows him just being this petty, freaking power hungry prick. Yeah.
Why would they write him as a good guy then if this was the true definitive story?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any.
It's the definitive story. There was never a son.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, please.
I talked over that in the pause. They slowly have dropped that narrative by the end. I don't know if I said that in the last week's stream that Ryan Condal, when he was talking about Ned, I was like, oh, well, this is just, one version of the story. So they have totally dropped that propaganda. That was just BS that they said in the first season.
Such bullshit. It's such bullshit.
They are such deceptive pricks.
Yeah. They really are.
I have a sneaking suspicion George Martin might have had a talk with them.
He was pissed, dude. He was pissed. I mean, you could see it in his. There are two separate blogs. The one about the dragons, and then there's one about writers at the end of last season that tells you what happened this season. I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that we get crap. Go ahead, Teresa.
Oh no, I was just saying that because it's the whole Dan and Dave thing. Because we changed this, well, it had to end up like that. You see, also, I think they were so hell-bent. It was probably even in the fucking pitch so that they could even get it made that it was going to be about Rhaenyra and Alicent. So they were like, how can we make this about Rhaenyra and Alicent? So everything else had to fit into that square peg, circle into the square peg, and it will never work. And look what they had to do this season to make it about Rhaenyra and Alicent. The most ridiculous scenes you've ever seen.
Yes, and petty scenes. So that episode ends with Helena running into the bedroom where her mom is banging Cole, the Kingsguard, the head of the Kingsguard, and just saying the boy is gone. And there goes son for a son. Yeah, they killed the boy. Yeah.
Also, every time that they're having sex, she's always on top.
I know. Is he kind of just?
I think they're just trying to juxtapose that compared to what she was going through with.
She has power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she has power now that she didn't over the king when Viserys was alive.
Right. So
she's enjoying sex now.
Yeah, and good for her. Get that shit going. Second episode we have is Rhaenyra Rhaenyra the Cruel. Even though, Rhaenyra the Cruel. You think it's going to be a great episode? No, you have Aegon being an idiot, not understanding his role as king. The Blacks questioning her, the leadership of Rhaenyra, and only Rhaenys has her back. We get to meet.
So when did that all happen? Because remember, Rhaenys still refused to kneel to her at the end of the last season.
Right.
And
she makes a comment somewhere in here where she decided to support her.
Yeah.
Just because she
seems to be, all these men want to pull it together, and she seems to be the only one that wants to heal it. It was some weird thing, and I'm like, I don't get where she was coming from, but yeah, all of a sudden she was the number one supporter.
Yep. We meet Hugh the Hammer. Adam Hull we meet. He sees his soon-to-be dragon flying over him. We meet Ulf looking at the rat catchers because they hung 100 of them. And the poor dog.
Doggy.
Yeah.
Which is the dog's in the Red Keep now.
No, I thought. Okay, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you have Cole feeling bad that he wasn't at his post.
So he decides to get a twin killed.
Yeah, he decides to send one of the
Cargill.
One of the brothers who was on their side, Eric, to kill his brother, or to pretend he's his brother Eric, even though his brother Eric's there, to kill Rhaenyra. Just a dumb idea, never talked about again after the death. The brothers end up killing each other at the end. They have the funeral, they sewed the kid's head back on. I don't know, man. What?
Yeah. Well, this episode had the good moments though with Otto and with Aegon. I mean, this was actually Aegon and Otto's best moments, where you really saw Aegon being furious about. He had a good reaction to the loss of his son, and then the dialogue with him and Otto and how they eventually replaced him as Hand.
Mhm.
I thought that those scenes were magnificent.
Yes. There were, and like Tina said, there were some really good scenes. You got Misery here. She ends up being captured by the Blacks and, talks to Rhaenyra like,
Like the fact that she's even there is
I know.
It's completely different as well. Like, so she still wields all this power.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Even
Keep
though
talking.
she left. That's what I'm trying to feel like.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Massaria is like playing the role of Mushroom in some cases.
I kind of feel like that's the case. That really pisses me off.
They've combined two characters.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what they're doing with Nettles, which I will be mad about for all eternity.
Yeah, I remember when we were doing our thoughts and hopes and everything, and I said the two things I'm looking forward to is Mushroom and Nettles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a reason why they are there, and it's really the height of folly to say. It's really the height of folly to say that you can just mix and match characters.
Yeah, but that's the problem, is because these were good characters that people enjoyed, people were looking forward to. Therefore, not talking about Alicent anymore. So we can't have that.
Yeah. You can't have people that are cooler than Rhaenyra. Well, remember Condal said he kept saying, why do people just keep liking Daemon? And it was almost as though they went out to say, okay, people were talking too much about Daemon in season 1.
Oh, that was Sarah Hess.
We got to do something about it.
Sarah Hess is the one that disliked Daemon the most. She's like, why does everybody like think of him like a bad boy boyfriend? He's like terrible. Why do people like him? Matt Smith's okay, but Sarah Hess, I believe, had a lot more power in the writing room than most people know. And I like to blame her. I know the buck stops at Condal and it's his fault too, but Sarah Hess definitely, with the Daemon storyline, ruined him.
And they could have done something about with Mushroom. I mean, if they're saying, okay, fine, we don't want the stereotypical little person in the role. We don't want them to look like a fool. Well, in a lot of stories, the fool is actually the smartest one in the room, and they know what they can and can't get away with making fun of in front of the king or the queen. So they could have had someone who was more of an actor, or if they didn't want a fool, they could have had them in as the minstrel in the court. I mean, there was someone that could have come in and played that part.
He could have even been a non-speaking part, just in the background, like always hearing all the dirty little secrets, maybe like a small role.
Yeah.
It just, they left out some great characters like Nettles. And when you have a group talking about diversity and inclusion, and you leave out a young woman who is diverse and put it with another diverse character, what are you saying? Like, you had a built-in character you could have used. but you
Well,
didn't
can't
use
tell them
one
all
of.
apart anyway, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, why
exactly. That's
bother
how
having
they
more
act.
than one?
I'm telling you,
You
that's
know
how
what?
they act.
You you know why they got pissed at the fans for liking Damon the most?
Yep.
Because they were turning the women into partial self inserts, so they took
hmm
it personal.
Yeah.
Oh,
That happens a lot because when people hate on the obvious self inserts, that's when the writers tend to spurg out the most
Yep.
because it actually is a personal attack.
Yeah.
Because self insert, it's them. They are
Yeah.
not being liked for who they are.
Yep. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
We have Zach's here for $5 Canadian. Examine the writing this season through this lens. Condell and Sarah Hess need us to want a woman on the throne, and Allison can't. That's it. Yeah, we need to have a woman on the throne. Like even Allison tries to take her shot at being the regent, and they're just like, "You have no power here." Thank you, my friend Zach. We have Zach's boys over at our Hilts Hurt. They're crushing it. They had like hundreds of people watching them last week. So if you guys don't know that channel, make sure you check it out. Friends, well, at least I know one of the guys. I'm pretty sure. Phoenix. I don't know who the other person is that's with them, but they definitely do a good job over there. So check them out and check out Zach's too. Good dude. But yeah, I think we were just touching on that. We cannot. The writers wanted the women to look good. They failed. They didn't want any terrible action being from the woman's own lips. Like they couldn't be the ones that did it. I mean, Allison after the blood and cheese incident wanted blood and cheese's whole family so she could bathe in their blood. Like that's in the book. But this, the kid died. We forget about it after the funeral.
Yeah, and
Makes no sense.
Allison seems to show no remorse whatsoever. That the kid got killed when she
Mhm.
wanted to shag the guy who was guarding him.
Right.
and they didn't just.
Go ahead, Tina. Oh,
I think
Don't
she
be shy,
dropped.
Taylor.
no,
Dang it,
Tina,
every time she has a point to make,
she
it-
freezes. But I agree with you, Tina. I am an amazing YouTuber and criminally undersubbed. But thank you to all the new subs. At one point yesterday, we were over 5,900, and then we lost 50, and then they gave me back 20. But we're on the road to 6,000. So thank you guys. If you're new here, subscribe. We have 43 people watching. Yeah.
she
I
almost
thought
came
she was
back.
coming.
Well, they did show some remorse. Actually, I thought it was kind of good in episode 2 when she was saying, I've sinned, and she was really beating herself up.
Mhm.
But then that kind of disappeared after she had her slap, now we need to have sex moment. But it was like they almost got there in the early part of the season, and then they just flubbed it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, like I said, they're
Flubbed it is a nice way of putting it.
yeah.
Oh, Tina, we can hear you. All right. What were you going to say? Oh,
Damn it.
I swear I heard Tina. Anywho, this is the great scene where they
I
talk
might be
about
back,
her.
but I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, that's okay. This scene really pissed me off because, later on, because this is again where the writers forgot. He is talking to her about Breakbones Strong. What's his first name? His dad. Harwin, right? Harwin Strong.
Harwin, yes.
Harwin Strong. And they're talking about him being a good dad, or not dad. They don't use the word dad, but they talk about him in the same breath as his so-called father. And so we know they talk about it. It's known. But then later on, it's almost like when he brings it up to Rhaenyra, it's like something that has never been across their lips before. Like it's a false moment that they tried to create. When you write something in early on to create this moment later, I felt like they did that a couple times and they fell short.
Yeah.
It's like how they spent 30 minutes setting up Lady Stoneheart
Mm-hmm.
in the original show and then never did it.
Right.
Yeah.
That was such a bad decision on their part.
Yeah,
Again,
I mean,
Eamon too. Yeah.
why the hell set it up if you're not going to use it? It's a waste of 30 minutes, which they could
Yep.
have spent on something else.
Oh, I don't know. Season 2, you also have Damon trying to choke out Rhaenyra again. And
yeah.
that's when he
She had a
decides.
fly on her neck. I've explained this to you. Why do you like? You're always jumping to Damon's. You know, he didn't kill his wife. He gave her a pillow. He didn't strangle her. He was just keeping her neck warm.
Yeah. Well, they make sure to make him look like a abusive husband before he takes off for Harrenhal.
And also, does everyone know that they had a marital spat? Because it's brought up like 3 or 4 times in the series.
What do you mean 3 or 4 times? It happened 200 million thousand. And they want to make it about their marriage. They even said that that's what this season is. See, and that's why you can't have Nettles, because that takes away from Rhaenyra, because it makes Rhaenyra look bad when we know what's going to happen toward the end with Nettles and Daemon and all of that. Oh, but it's her uncle and he's a groomer. I mean, but then they had to make him a strangler too. It's just abusive.
He can't just be a pedo groomer.
Yeah.
He has to also be an abuser.
Yeah.
So the next
sometimes in life you simply have to choke a bitch.
I knew that was coming. But it was also so nonsensical too.
Mm-hmm.
When every time he's done it, it's like, why? Wait, did he just try to strangle her? Why? It's
right.
Like,
because he's
not even
it's because Allison got strangled that night, but she liked it. So
don't forget, he also has brother issues. He has brother issues.
He also has mother issues. Clearly.
Yeah, we find that out later. I mean, if you
and nothing came of that either.
No, well, he might have.
The problem was that she just wouldn't listen.
I love you, Stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, this was just all so ridiculous because we've already tread the ground of Daemon accepting Rhaenyra as queen. He was the one who crowned her for crying out loud and bent the knee to her. And then it was like, let's spend the whole season redoing episode 10.
Yeah, but what you don't know, what you don't understand is the writers didn't know that. A lot of them didn't read the book. They didn't watch the first season. They just write this is my job. So yeah, the second one, the Burning Mill, where we don't even get to see that battle. All we see is the beginning and the end. And it doesn't even follow the books. So I don't even know why, we would care, but yeah. It doesn't follow the books at all.
I didn't mind missing the Battle of the Burning Mill if they would have at least showed Daemon there, flying over, because he had a presence there. He was already doing something in the Riverlands. And then if the excuse was we were going to get a lot of great battles coming forward, and did we really need the second, third, fourth time that we're just going to be a bunch of men are going to be slaughtering each other?
Yeah,
it was going to be too expensive. It was a budget cut. Okay, fine. Maybe that's where you put your montage instead of in your finale episode.
Good point. Well, and they could have also done Black Alice that way as well, where they could have just said, oh, and then there was a 16-year-old girl and she shot the dude, or even just a brief scene with her in front of a fireplace. We're like, hey, Daemon, this is the chick who did the big arrow. So they didn't have to leave out those moments.
Yeah.
It just wasn't enough time. We had to get Allison taking a bath in a lake for 20 minutes.
Right.
So.
That's true.
I want to address Soul Assassin's question here. No, it was not affected by the strike. A lot of people think that, but see, the strike was only the American Writers Union, not the British. This is a show that was able to keep going because they were under the British Union, writers, actors, all that. So they did not strike. So people think that, but no, it was a British film project. So they didn't have to strike this. They could try to use that as an excuse, but it freaking won't work. Maybe the best writers in America wouldn't come to them and write, so they had to use Brits. I don't know. But I'm guessing there's a lot of British writers that can write fantasy. I'm pretty sure they got some good ones over there.
If you believe the one report that I read is they had 10 episodes written for season 2, and HBO came and said, knock it down to 8.
That's
so I could
bullshit.
understand if it were true, I could understand there maybe being some continuity issues or some things that were rushed, like Battle of Burning Mill. We don't have enough time to spend
something like that.
5 minutes on it. Fine. But then we were going to see everything else play out the way it should.
But then you have a scene of Allison going camping and swimming in a lake. Like there was quite a bit of filler scenes where they could have cut those out. So I don't believe that in one bit. No way would HBO ask for less episodes when they were begging Game of Thrones to go to 15 seasons and Dan and Dave wanted to walk and wouldn't hand it over to anybody. They saw the gold mine that this was after season 1. No way they didn't greenlight 10 episodes. And again, it wasn't affected by the strike because a lot of people thought that too. It was crap. The more you know, my brother. Yeah.
This whole season, they set up little, plot points and story points and stuff, and build them up slightly. Then they take a break, and then they return to it a bit, and then they just chop it off.
Right.
And
like Theon's dick.
Yeah. It's just all the characters seem to feel the same way about it because they stopped talking about it too.
Yeah.
It's like they have a memory of a week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a fish. They go across the tank, turn around, and they're like, oh, brand new water. There's no effect from any of the deaths, any of the battles. The only person that actually holds on to like any cohesiveness through the whole thing was one of the Blackwoods. He was the only one that wanted revenge through the whole thing, and then he gets his head chopped off. But other than that, it's like different writers every episode, man.
Yeah.
I recall being very frustrated by at this moment what we were just seeing with Rhaenys and Corlys, that we knew what was going to happen to Rhaenys. So they should have really been showing her doing a lot more and being a lot cooler. And because remember, they became kind of head of the Black Council a lot sooner in this wars. So they didn't even give us that. They had this magnificent actress, and they just gave her like little scenes like this, which in and of themselves were kind of okay. Well, isn't this nice? It's a domestic scene, but she should have been foremost so that when episode 4 happened, we should have felt it.
Yeah. And their chemistry was great. But yeah, you're right. Again, Sarah House wrote the episode where she came through the dragon pit floor, and the things she says in the first 4 episodes are so counter what happened because no one talks about her killing all the small folk. It's just, again, we forgot what happened last season and move on. Even with great actors, you can't make up for shitty writing. No. You just can't.
Yeah.
It's like they can't write story because, story is what you get between plot points.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what the problem is, because they have the plot points from the book,
and
then they're trying to fill in their own thing in between, and they simply don't have the talent because it's so choppy, and the writers are clearly not on the same page.
Right. Absolutely not. And okay, this will show you. Episode 1, Helena's son gets killed. Episode 2 is the funeral. This is episode 3 where she says she's moving on. Like, I'm not going to think about him anymore. And I forgive you, Mom. And then it's never brought up until it's not even brought up.
Dude, it's been nearly 2 days. So, I mean.
It has. It's a solid 2 days. It's not even brought up in the last episode where Rhaenyra says, you haven't made up for anything. A son for a son. When she's talking about Aegon has to die. Well, they don't even go back to say, well, you killed my grandson.
Allison
has son in the name.
In the book would have agreed to it, but she says that I want your first grandson.
Yeah,
that's what she would have said. She would have said, she would have said, fine, but I'm getting the head of your first grandchild,
and then we'll be even.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Or even if she said you're sending your first grandchild to foster with me,
right?
If they didn't want to make her cruel.
Right.
even though they should because it's the book. But
Yeah, but she is. What's up, Mason?
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I'm a little late. By a little, I mean very late.
And
But
that's the show, guys. Thanks for turning up.
Yeah.
so the real quick, you were. I was trying to listen while I was getting ready, but the last thing I heard was you talking about the writer strike affecting the show.
It didn't.
And, well, so the timeline that's like going around now is that they wrote 10 episodes and we're expecting a 10 episode season. And then HBO came to them and said, "Hey, we're going to cut you down to 8 for budget and to be able to turn this around much quicker." And then the writer strike happened, which affects the writers because they're American.
But it didn't.
writers.
Yeah, but they weren't under the American contract. When you are writing in when you are a writer, even if you're from America, but they were writing for a British show.
No, it's filmed in Britain, which means they're using British actors, but they can't write.
But the production is in Britain. I understand the writers are American, but the production was in Britain, so it does fall under the British unions. Now, maybe it makes no sense because there were American actors working over there. There were American writers working over there through the whole strike because they were under the union there, because you can't work in England without being part of that union.
And I could see if some writers said, well, in solidarity with my American counterparts in their union, exactly, we're not going to write. So then either HBO says, okay, fine, we give you a season off, or you're right, we fire you because totally different contract.
They were filming during the strike. They were filming and they were writing. It was happening. So no one could. I understand what was reported, Mason, but I don't believe that shit. No way HBO would have said, wow, you guys nailed it. Hit it out of the park with season 1. We're going to cut your budget and we want less episodes for people to watch. HBO would have been like, dude, could you give us 15 episodes? You know, like.
Well, this is what I heard. Now, I don't have any sources or anything like this, but but part of it was that the reason why they cut it in 2, so there's going to be season 8 episodes this one and 8 episodes the next one, it's them making it a 4-season show. And that they had it all mapped out.
3. It was only going to be 3.
And that actually HBO is going forth with the greed thing by making it 4 seasons instead of 3. Right. And they probably figured out that they made just as much money by making it 8 episodes, because even though this season was crap, the ratings were very good.
Right. Yeah, I don't believe the reporting. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, please, Tina.
Wanted a 4th season because it's going to take them longer to develop whatever comes after Dunk and Egg.
I don't think they were. I think they were shocked it did as well as it did, so they greenlit it all the way through 4. I really don't think they thought. I think they were taking a shot in the dark with this being received well after season 8. People still believed, that Blood Moon got freaking axed because they were like, no, dude, no one's going to watch this after that. And knowing George had his hands all over season 1, I believe that's why they were like, oh my God, we got a hit here. Yeah, let's greenlight it all the way through. I know we said maybe 3. We're giving you 4. If you have to stretch it. You know, if you give us 8 episodes for the next 3, we'll be fine because we still got an extra season out of this. I don't know if it would be for production reasons on other shows, because it's every 2 years. So, I mean, you got you would have had easily 4, 5, 6 years only with 2 more seasons. You know, because if you greenlit another series, you could have waited another 2 years after season 3. So I don't know. I think it's the story they're trying to spin. And if anybody has sources out there, all my hundreds of followers, please let me know. I don't think maybe the strike did affect it a little bit, but I don't think it had much because they kept talking about it. That was a big point I followed during the writer's strike and actors.
I do know that Emma D'Arcy had said that she had felt badly about filming while the strike was going on.
Yep.
So that would
Yep.
Your side of the story.
Yeah, here's another dumb scene where Damon doesn't know how to walk around with a sword in Harrenhal, where when he does it in the book, it's like badass, him landing there and taking Harrenhal. But this is the beginning of Damon's end. It starts in season 3 and it goes all the way through the whole season. He is just cucked and put to the side and made to look like a lunatic. And a wuss. And then prophecy is the reason why he decides to bend the knee again.
And most of which, what happened to Damon in all those episodes could have been 15 minutes of one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd even give it 35 minutes. Really fill it out. But yeah, it could have all been one episode, and he realized, holy crap, this is it. Then we get the Red Dragon and the Gold, big season 4 episode. Very cool battle scene in this one. We got dragons fighting. But I don't know. What did you guys feel about this episode?
I don't remember it.
That's the one where Rhaenys dies, man. And
yeah.
we get to meet this brother.
It's tainted by the fact that thousands of people witnessed an attempted regicide. And not a damn one said anything.
Right.
And I want to know how you get Vagar hidden in the fucking trees.
Yeah. For how long too?
Yeah, and he's going to be breathing on the ground.
Yeah,
which will cause a forest fire.
Yeah, but he's green. So
yeah, it's camouflage.
She is green.
Hey, it's you gotta get her proper pronoun.
I will. I am sorry. Yeah, this is the scene where, the brother in the book who's defending his brother's crown is about to go kill him. But luckily Cole jumps on. Hold on. I think we actually, I have this scene queued up. Here we go.
Where's the best place for content on the world of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
Sporking News Podcast with me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe.
It's kind of a powerful scene, but I don't know.
Sheer genius.
Yeah, this is Aegon with his Valyrian steel suit that disappears through history, I guess. This awesome suit, and I always wondered about that. If he was wearing Valyrian steel, was he wearing it in the book?
No,
he wasn't, because
the
armor stuck to him and stuff.
The armor
would have protected him.
Yeah, the Valyrian the steel armor melted so much that they couldn't determine what was.
It was like a part of it.
What was metal. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they make him. This is the episode where Alicent punks out her son Aegon, so he decides to fly off with nobody knowing to a battle, and gets himself burnt half of his body, and we find out later in the season his penis exploded like a sausage on a grill, and a pea runs down his leg when he has to go to the bathroom. We didn't need to know that, but his brother did that to him, so that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it makes his survival even more improbable because he got it full blast in his face. It wasn't because he fell down with Rhaenys, and that was how they both died. But can we give a shout out to that really cool scene, though? When he's going up to his dragon, and the dragon's like it's puppy and kind of headbutting him like a cat'll do, and that's the only time you see true joy on Aegon's face. There was real affection between the two of them.
Yeah, and the actor for Aegon made the character, even though he's like despicable, like likable in a way, and you feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was bad situation. And remember, this poor bastard did not want to be king. It was friggin' his mother and them that forced him. He was running away.
Yeah.
No one but his mother and his grandfather wanted him to be king.
Right. Oh, that's right, Shane. They did call it. They said it was Aegon's armor. You're right. Yeah, I don't know
And
if
I
George
think
is
that
going to
was
be
the whole
vulnerable.
point. Yeah, and I think it was the whole point about the fact that it was because it was Aegon's armor, it was able to shield him because instead of the armor melting into his body, it
Mhm.
just fused with his body.
Yeah, Valyrian steel wouldn't even do that. I mean, it's very durable. It's made to defend against dragon fire because it was worn by dragon riders. So like the blast he got was a blast, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like a minute and a half long blast of like he got hit. He was kind of shielded by Rhaenys dragon, and it was almost like, I don't know. I feel like it would have protected him a little bit more if it was Valyrian steel, but that's the dork in me. So yeah. Yeah, and then we get Rhaenys who commits suicide because she could have left that battle 3 times, but it was the 4th time we got the dragon coming from underneath to kill her. I always love that. But yeah, she left 3 times, was gone. She was able to flee. Dragon was healthy, and then she decides to come back that last time and gets messed up, and that's how she dies. So it was more like suicide.
Vhagar is the queen of stealth, right? I mean,
yeah,
I could almost buy it with Lucerys because of the storm, but
right.
No
Coming
way.
from under the bluffs, like she didn't see the dragon at all. Like, wait a minute.
I just don't get. Vhagar's whole point was she was slow, but she was powerful.
She was
but
a tank.
to be able to do it, she'd have to get up high and then launch herself down low. She'd have to use gravity's force to be able to, yet they do the complete opposite. They make it come from below, fighting against all the forces.
Gravity, air, yeah. And hit it at the perfect time, the perfect moment to grab Rhaenys dragon's neck. It made no sense. It made no sense.
It's like a 747 just coming up like Jaws and getting people. Actually, it is like it's like that parody in Airplane.
Yeah. No, see, if Vhagar wasn't hovering, she was actually on the ground on the beach and jumped really hard and just it was all a jump. It was all a jump. Yep. This is one of Daemon's dream sequences where he, I believe, cuts off her head.
Every one of the dream sequences were great. I thought.
I really enjoyed the ones with Patty, with the series actor.
I like the one where
he's banging his mom.
Yeah,
that was hot. That was hot.
Yeah.
Well,
but the
it
first
kind of
one
reminded
with
us
Rhaenyra
of why
was
we
fantastic, though. The first one with Rhaenyra was fantastic, though. The whole here I am cleaning up your mess kind of thing. That was
it was good.
Well done.
Yeah,
I liked him.
Yep. Teresa?
Oh, I was just saying that part of what also made them so good and maybe a mistake is every time they were on, the young Rhaenyra and all of them, I was just like, holy crap, season 1 was better with these actors in it, and how much, we underestimated perhaps how Patty Cassadine really carried a lot of the stuff.
He really did.
Yeah.
Mason, anything to add? If you do or don't, I just don't want to. I always feel like we talk over you.
I mean, I like this episode a lot.
Okay.
A lot more than you guys did, apparently.
Well, that's why I have you here, man, because you have bad taste like Tina. So talk to me. No, just kidding. No, I mean there was some good stuff. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. I felt like Rhaenys dying was actually very good for the season because it kind of felt like she was like it was unintentional, but it felt like she was finally like paying the price for her actions in was it episode
King's
9?
Landing?
Yeah, her stomping on everybody.
I almost like I think it was more, and I'll let you go on, but I feel like it was more her, like my kids are dead, like I have nothing to live for type thing, and I'm just gonna go like whatever happens happens. But I don't know, Mason. You agree or disagree? You disagree. You son of a bitch. Disagree. Go ahead.
I mean, I I don't know. I don't know that the writers even thought that far. Like they kind of just like this is where she needs to go. This is what the book says. Let's do that.
It's one of those things where it's like I would love to have thought the writers were thinking ahead, going, well, here's Rhaenys having this major, desire to go, I don't want to just be known as the queen who never was. Here, I'm going to make this major sacrifice in this major battle, and I'm going to be written in history for doing something, not getting something.
Yeah,
but I don't
feel that way in the book.
Yeah, I mean, but now she's a boat.
Yeah, she's.
Thanks, Corlys.
Is this the episode where Lars walks in and sees the moon tea?
I like the idea of her being a boat because, like most women her age who wouldn't love to be filled with semen.
No.
Yeah. But,
imagine if all the semen got dock blocked, though.
Oh, God. Thank you for the 42 people watching. We appreciate you guys. Please hit like. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to everybody on the panel, but definitely Mason. We're trying to get him over 100, and it's embarrassing I haven't been able to get him there yet. Like, I take it personally. So if Shane, if you have his link, please throw it in the chat. Yeah, is this the one where Lars walks in on, because Allison takes the moon tea, which is like the plan B, plan B tea.
Plan T.
Like plan T, yeah.
Plan T.
She was stupid enough to leave the vial or the little flask or casket, whatever the hell you want to call that thing. Everyone knows that's plan T, and yet she leaves it on the freaking on the table, like, oh shit, Lars, the guy who wants to know secrets. Oh my God, I left that there. I didn't even remember.
Yeah, there's a used condom on the chair.
Oh my God, let me wipe that up with this white cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like there's
They did it.
87 Playboys there by the bed.
Oh no.
There was a side by side, and the vials from season 1 and season 2 were different.
Oh, they are different. But I think everybody knows. If a woman has a vial next to her, she's a hoe.
And she's sitting there holding her stomach like,
Yeah.
Because of the cramping it causes.
Yeah.
So,
Hence the term vial hooker.
Yeah, vial hooker. That's it. We have a winner on that one. Yeah, and then we get this Irish, Scottish, maybe accent for Allison Rivers. And what did you guys feel about her character through this season?
MVP. Only Massaria was better than her.
She was terrible, right? Like I didn't.
Yeah.
She still didn't interact with anyone but Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were gonna have a big reveal with her, and then there's just nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I can imagine them sitting there going, oh crap, when everyone's saying, oh, she's a ghost, oh, she's a ghost. That none of them noticed that the way they were writing her, that's how it was coming across. I mean, don't they have anyone proofread this crap?
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I said, man, sorry.
I mean,
wrong pronoun.
There could have been other characters basically say, either giving him more information about the fact that maybe he shouldn't trust her, or that, or giving a little bit of her backstory.
Just a hair. Like she pretty much explains it.
She's an owl in a barn.
But like, she's an owl in a barn. And we get one reference to her that she killed. Is it Grover Tully?
The Muppet family.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like how Damon went, I'm not going to eat your food because it might be poison. Hello, random stranger who I haven't interacted with. Oh, you're a witch. Yes, I'll drink your potion.
Yeah. And you know what? Shane nails it here too. Yeah. Like, oh, barely know you. Let me drink this tea. Could have been she was trying to abort him. But I love that because she is supposed to be beautiful. And I'm sorry, she's like a plain Jane. Like she looks like what I imagined from the Harry Potter movies, the Weasley girl grew up to look like.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she kind of
Jenny. There we are.
she's like, I'm really mad at Harry. I'm gonna fuck with Damon.
It's a moaning Myrtle without the glasses.
Oh,
There you go.
We will
You
be
think-
covering that show though when it's on. I'm telling you guys that ahead of time. I love Harry Potter.
yeah. Do you think they're going to cut the relationship between her and Eamon? I think they are.
Well, no, that's I think why they were setting up that kind of mommy figure thing with Eamon.
He doesn't like
Because-
Pretty Women, remember?
He likes like that a little bit older kind of playing, like kind of he'll be curled
Yeah.
up, not having sex with her, just in the fetal position as she spoons him with a peg up his ass or something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
but here's the
That's-
thing, though. Didn't they reveal that she's Team Black now, though, because she did everything to help?
Well, no, I think she's going to be that. She's Team Harrenhal.
Yeah.
For crap! Well, that's another problem that they had with that whole dream thing, anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know people. So that was a great episode. God, this show was really bad. Like, there's so many things. I'm not remembering any of the good scenes. This is the scene where this region is where we find out Eamon's a douche. You know, amid whispers of bad omens, the Green consider how to fill a void of Aegon's council. Jacaerys sets out on a rogue mission to strike a deal. Daemon enlists Lord Willem Blackwood to help persuade the Brackens to bend the knee by killing and raping. That's always a good way. That's always a good way to do it.
The Jacaerys scene with the Tullys
Yeah.
I thought was done really well. But there was no consistent character growth for him.
Not at all. He became a whiny
was
bitch at
a
the
puss-
end.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. You know, I'm with you 100% on that. Like, just Jacaerys, there are moments where he seems like a prince. And then there's moments where he's just the wimpy little bastard he really must be.
Mhm.
You know, and then this scene where I thought they were gods, you know, bad decision.
where they
Very
kind of
cool
forgot.
looking. Yeah. They forgot that other dragons have died. like through history. I
That's
didn't
the
think
one
they
that
could
killed all
die.
their families in their version
Yeah.
of 9/11.
The one that died like 2 weeks ago over Storm's End. Like, they don't even remember that one. Maybe, okay, maybe they didn't hear about it. I'm guessing they did. But you know, like, it makes me laugh. Like, they're like all looking at a dragon like, I didn't think they could die. Even though Aegon's sister died with her dragon. And a dragon died like 2 weeks ago. Shit, it really does happen. And then you have Daemon just being like a prick, trying to get the Brackens on his side by acting like a dick. And then when the moment came where he could have killed the Bracken, he was a bitch. Ooh, someone is humming there.
Oh, what's going on there?
Yeah, sounds like
Tina, mute yourself for a second.
blow drying their hair.
Tina? No, not Tina.
I think it's me. Some shit going on outside at night.
Oh, shit. Mute yourself for a sec.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely you.
Yep.
That's weird.
Damn, what
the
are they
hell?
doing?
They
Clearing
blowing
out the
leaves?
drunks. They don't have leaves where he is. I don't.
Yeah, that's true. They don't. Yeah, this was
I mean,
another.
pretty
It's another episode where I just don't know. Like, Daemon, there's a moment where he's getting disrespected by Brackens, and he just doesn't. Even the guy like calls him out, and he does nothing. Now, the Daemon of the book and even first season would have killed him. Are they trying to like tell us that was growth? Because I didn't see it that way.
No, it's made him look like he was a weak person, because if you ever give an ultimatum, you have to go through with it, even if you don't want to. If he said he was going to burn him, he should have burned him.
Yep. I'm with you on that. Oh, there's Mommy.
Oh, gross.
Mommy was hot. Yeah, Daemon
I
has
actually thought when that scene first happened, I swear I thought that was Emma.
Yeah, like a young Emma.
Sister,
Yeah.
in-law, sister, right?
Cousin, first cousin.
Cousin.
But
I could have
yeah.
I could have saw that too. I thought he was having like, you know, affair with, always wanted his brother's wife, but no, it was his mom. He had
What
a
a
dream about
motherfucker.
going down on his mom. So that was hot. Yeah, this episode was another one. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this series.
Yeah, nothing really happened.
No,
It has a lot of good individual scenes and individual moments.
Yeah.
The actors did a good job, but the problem was that that's all people focused on.
Yeah.
That's the only place where real care seemed to have gone into it, which is a real shame.
Yeah, 6. Are people actually praising this show?
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize that. I thought there was some fan backlash.
no, like most of the backlash that I get is just like, well, Gary and Mola and everything liked it. I'm like, okay, good for them.
Yeah. Oh, they did?
Yeah, yeah. They even loved the dream sequence stuff parts.
Oh, man.
They thought that made perfect sense the way in which.
Am I being too critical? Are we too critical?
No,
Because I thought
no,
it was
you're not
terrible.
alone.
Okay,
we're not
All right.
alone.
All right,
you're fine.
I didn't know that. Okay,
to each their own. You know,
if you look on the majority of people who have a channel that's based around Song of Ice and Fire, 99% of them say that they're not happy with it.
Yeah, I even people that are
even
Song of Ice and
non-book
Fire,
readers.
like they are like hardcore simp for, like, I used to get like just ripped apart if I said something bad about the show. And even some of them have very respectfully, but said that this season definitely was lacking. So I'm shocked to hear those guys liked it.
Yeah, that's the consensus I've seen, is that it's all right, but it's lacking in a lot of very important aspects.
Yeah, like writing.
Well, there are some big channels that are surrounded around Song of Ice and Fire that have actually gotten press screeners, so they're trying to be very careful, rather preview screeners, because they will take away the privileges if you're
in a
too
heartbeat.
critical.
In a heartbeat.
Well, it explains why a lot of people, can drop a full-fledged review and everything the night of that it comes out. You're like, heavy spoilers. He gets it 2 weeks in advance.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain YouTuber that demands to talk about dragons that hasn't really said too much against the season, which really surprises me. How critical his channel was to the final seasons of Game of Thrones.
I think people, I want to say a lot of people were just so ready to be underwhelmed that they're just pleasantly surprised, maybe. But when you do this much change from the books for the reason of reasons, just reasons, nothing important, nothing to be like, by taking away his son and effectively changing the whole story, to me, that's a big deal. And by having Aemon now, this, like, just trying to, he's going to kill you. We have to escape. He's going to kill you. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. The characters being, just being rewritten, and it's really undermines like that loyalty you get to see. Again, all we see is the bad of people. There is no gray in this. They all just suck.
Yeah. Well, there are also some people, not to call out someone, that hated what they did with Game of Thrones so much and hate Benioff and Weiss so much that they were very invested in, they wanted to say, see, it can be done right. This is what it is. And so not unlike where you'll find some individuals that were so anxious for Favreau to save Star Wars just to stick it to Kathleen Kennedy. So I think that we see that phenomenon as well.
I'm getting that. And go ahead, Stick.
No, I just unmuted because the sound stopped. It's some kind of mongoloids working for the city that are drilling up a traffic light.
Oh, so you have cities out there and electricity.
Yeah.
See that, people?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And this is
if you see where he lives, it looks fucking beautiful, man. I'm so jealous.
I can imagine.
It's like the Iron Islands.
It is. Yeah.
Well, it's like The Witcher. He's got like Witcher shrines in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually have shrines.
Yeah, he has a park bench that's older than my country.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like things that they date back to the Vikings, the pagans and stuff.
Yeah. It's okay to chop someone's head off.
it's actually required.
Encouraged.
Yeah.
Encouraged, even better.
Just worship something as you do it and be
Yep.
naked. Then it's okay.
There you go.
I
Sounds
usually
like
am when I do that. So
And again, like with Hugh Hammer here, like they the way they built him up in this episode in this season, he should never want to help the Greens ever. I mean,
No.
his daughter dies, and that's like an off-screen little comment we get. We don't even really get mourning. We just get like, she's dead. I don't get it. I don't get it. Man, we could spend a lot of time on these, but I'm going to move to Small Folk. Small Folk is where you get the, the people kind of going after Allison and, what's her name? Helena, who is no longer caring about her son's death.
the introduction of the shepherd character.
Oh yeah, he gets his hand cut off by one of Aegon's flunky Kingsguard men, and that is the creation, I'm guessing, of the shepherd. But they might not even know who he is.
No, it's a woman. You watch.
Oh, what? What?
The shepherd will be a woman.
Well, no, they can't, because if it's a bad kind of person that's like a fanatic, it can't be a woman. It has to be a man.
That is true. That is true.
No, but the shepherd is a leader. You don't
and
understand.
a savior. Yeah.
Whatever.
Aemon,
Technically, without the shepherd, none of the story would have really happened.
Yeah.
I am Westeros Jesus.
Yeah. This is where Rhaenyra gets the idea from Jace that there are a lot of people out there with some Targaryen blood, only highborns, I guess, because he never thought there could be bastards. I guess. I don't know, because by the last episode, he's really angry about that. But it was his idea to maybe find other dragon riders for their unoccupied dragons, and Aemon fires his mom from the Green Council. That's pretty much this episode. Then you get episode 7, The Red Sowing, where Rhaenyra, who cares about people's lives, puts about 100 people in a room with a dragon and waits to see what happens.
Yeah. You know what?
You warned them.
That should have been the episode, and she shouldn't have had an agenda behind it. She should have just put people in with the dragons to see what the dragon would do, and then nothing more. Just have the dragon eat the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, like put the people in there not knowing what they're doing, just being like, just wait here, we'll be back.
Yeah, just
I thought it was a very clever way of getting rid of anyone that could threaten her son's seed.
That would have made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would have followed that.
That would have been a magnificent.
Like interrogated every.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would have been a
perfect dark plan.
Yes, that would have been Maegor with teats.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Oh shit! Actually, they can ride the dragons. All right, we got to sort something out here." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And I think it would have been a bigger deal. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
I think it would have then been a bigger deal for somebody like Ulf to get chosen because, Hugh, as it was a little bit further distant because, his mother was a whore, but for Ulf to turn around and go, yep, I certainly was, brother to Daemon and Viserys. They go, oh crap, maybe he should be.
But even Hugh,
kind of scenario.
Hugh, they make it seem like his mom was Sarah, Jaharis' daughter.
They flat out said it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, his mom was actually a princess. Yeah, she was a princess, and I think higher up the chain than no, she wouldn't have been. But still, he would have definitely had a very strong claim too, which makes no sense because Jaharis, banished his daughter, and that happens in Essos. But this says the conciliator. Thank you. I can't say the word. Jaharis, who's the wise and the old and the the good king, threw his daughter in King's Landing to be a whore down on Flea Bottom. Like that makes no sense.
Right.
No sense.
That That's not what I thought that meant. I thought
What did
that
you think?
Sierra was in Essos, and
Maybe
then
that's why
Hugh
his wife
was
looks that
so
way.
embarrassed of his mother that he leaves her and comes back to King's Landing to work as a blacksmith.
That could
No,
be
they
because
don't
his
say
wife.
it, but that's
Okay,
what it
that's
like
what you
seems.
thought.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, yeah. They could have made it like a reference, like I left Essos at the age of 12. You know,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
they could have.
You know,
And it could have been part of like the interrogation, so to speak, as Rhaenyra or Jace is like, okay, so tell me how you think you're connected to the family.
Shane.
Why should we allow you to go in front of the dragon?
Yeah, and Shane makes a great point here. She was rich. She was very powerful in the East, or at least very wealthy as a prostitute over there. And he
Well,
talks
yeah,
about growing
she
up
was
poor.
yeah, she was the head of the thing. She was
She's
considered
not the
a
Black Swan.
queen.
She wasn't. That wasn't her. That's somebody else. I thought that became the Black Swan, or is it? No, it's not Sarah. Because I thought the same thing. But she is well off. She is a very highly sought after. Because she comes back at some point. The Black Swan was somebody else. She was a highborn daughter who ended up
Just like Sarah.
Just like Sarah, yeah. Ended up over there, became a madam, and pretty much ruled that area. Yeah, she comes into the story later, I believe, the Black Swan.
Joanna Swan, known as the Black Swan, was a noblewoman from House Swan during the reign of Kings Jaehaerys I, Viserys, Aegon, and Aegon III Targaryen.
Yeah.
She became an influential courtesan in Lys.
Yes. Now, Sarah, though, she ends up coming home, I believe, at one point, and then I think she gets kicked out again and something like that. Her story's a little different. That's like the main times where Alicent leaves Jaharis for a while. They had a couple of those breaks. Yeah, so that was the Red Sewing. And then we get the finale, the queen, whoever was.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Aemon starts losing his mind. Don't forget that. Lars has his escape plot with Aegon. Because for some reason, the guy who was obsessed with Alicent last season, and people kept saying, oh, it's about power. I don't think so. He was obsessed with her.
Well, so in the after show thingy, they said that Laris and Aegon escaped with his children.
What?
They used that word. His children. Like, wait, what?
And left his sister, his wife. Oh, okay.
Well, we didn't see it. You see, that's the thing. If we don't see it, it doesn't happen.
Well, they show him in a carriage, but they only show like a very small, like Aegon next to Laura.
Aegon and Laris.
Yeah.
His children.
Yeah, children. I thought, I'm sorry. I just caught that.
Maybe they don't even know what happened in season 2.
I mean, he only has one kid, and it's a girl. I mean, what? There aren't children. I'm sorry that took me that long, buddy. Yeah,
right. I mean, unless Laris was able to identify a male bastard of Aegon's that
was one of the fighting pits
with him. Yeah.
Yeah, in one of the episodes, you hear one of the Green Council members say, "Oh, Aegon has no lack of heirs," and it's just Aemond.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes no sense, man. Oh, I tell you, these writers didn't read anything and they didn't talk to each other. Yeah, and Jace is just a bitch in this episode. Like, I can understand him being a little upset. Okay, if you want to go that route, even though it was his idea, he didn't think there was going to be bastards. It was only going to be highborns with a drop of Targaryen blood. But it takes.
But that would be worse if they're highborn. They've got more of a right to the throne than he does. Then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he should know more than anyone that a highborn. You better not let anyone know that you're a highborn bastard with a title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they had to, his mother had to hide the fact that, they were bastards.
But everybody
knew.
Right. But if it wasn't for Viserys being like, we'll cut your freaking tongue out.
Exactly.
There would have been even more problems.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
and
Damon taking care of
yeah,
what's his face,
uh,
Corliss's brother.
yep, that was a great cut. Um,
Hmm.
yep, Dark Sister definitely is Valerian steel. That thing cut through Skull like it was nothing. Uh, this scene made no sense. It's just Damon telling her, "Yeah, I got to follow you. It's prophecy. It's prophecy. You know, there's going to be
McQueen.
Yeah,
McQueen.
McQueen. My
You're going to be on
story. My story.
the story, McQueen. You know,
I sorry,
yep.
I don't think that it's just the prophecy that he sees that makes him kneel to Rhaenyra. I think him not taking the other guy's offer of supporting him. I'm forgetting what his name is. The guy that Rhaenyra sends. He's like, "We need a king.
Room.
We will support you." He kind of
Yeah.
smiles and is like, "I didn't take you for a traitor," but he doesn't say like,
Mm.
"Okay, yes, let's do this." You know, he doesn't just jump at it like he might have
Because he's not an
an
idiot.
earlier point in his life.
Wait a minute.
He knows
what?
it's a test.
Yeah, like she wants him to show everybody else that he's bending the knee. It's more of a vanity thing and an ego thing for him to actually do it. That's what I took that as. Her being like, prove it type thing. I took it as him being like, son of a bitch, I got to do this in front of everybody. All right. But there definitely was it was prophecy. He was having visions for how long as he was there. And it wasn't until he had, for some reason, a Targaryen having a vision through the Blackwood or the Weirwood, and his niece being able to actually communicate to him while he's in a vision through a Weirwood. That also made no sense. He accepted that is what's going to happen, so I need to fall in line. I don't think it was him being like, I've grown, I've matured, because they were building to that. It was actually okay if you're doing all this.
They showed him season 8 of Game of Thrones, and he's just like, I don't want any part of this shit.
Yeah,
You do it.
could be the queen. I don't want to be known. Kind of,
Well,
Well,
Alice kind of had the whole thing. It's like, now that you've learned so much about yourself, now you can get the dream. I mean, it seemed like an after-school special.
I know that pissed me off too. I feel like if they just kept with the him growing as a being, a person, I could have accepted that. But it was like all that bullshit to just get to now you're I can give it to you. Just give him the goddamn vision. Like it could have been 5 minutes in an episode. You're right.
But if he just got the vision, he wouldn't have believed it. He would have just written it off as, "Oh,
So
the witch poisoned me."
So you have to fuck
know?
your mom first?
Exactly.
Mom, is that what you're saying, Mason?
Before you can finger George's face, you've got to fuck your mum. Everyone knows that. That's the order.
It's actually, I think it's written somewhere.
You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
That thing at the end where she kind of spoon fed him the stuff. The end of a He-Man episode, where
Yes.
He-Man explains to the kids what Skeletor did wrong in this episode and why he shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Until next time.
I love that guy on Instagram. Whoever does that, I repost those all the time. Then you had to have this stupid scene with Cole and
Gay.
Dwayne.
How long until they start crossing swords, do you reckon?
I think it's getting to be close. Like they sat down next to each other. There might have been sucking.
But there was no lead up to this, no cause for why he comes up and says, "Hey, asshole, stop shagging my sister."
That first off, nothing. But also, it's been how long, and he's just still moping like, dragons are dangerous. It's like, Cole, you're an idiot. Like, dragons are really, like, I wasn't expecting that. They breathe fire. Did you know that? Like, it's dumb.
He's now a simp for dragons.
I mean, and he sat there and was planning with Aemon.
Yes.
How they were going to, attack. He didn't think there were going to be casualties.
It's so stupid.
Skid, it's like it's like the writers can't.
Right.
Well, that too, but they can't figure out that the audience need to be told what's in their heads.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because they're skipping a lot of information that the audience actually need to.
Yeah.
But then they're spoon feeding us shit that we already know.
Yeah.
The characters already know.
Yeah.
This
the
poor
MVP
girl.
of the
And
series.
we didn't
Oh,
have
this
we didn't
poor
have enough
girl.
time of her running around the van.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Didn't even bring food.
No food, no shelter.
Really plans ahead, that one.
It was a whole 3 hours though. Like we don't even know. They don't show night. They don't show anything. Like
Yeah,
it's
they
just
show her
her.
lying down on the ground. There's a blue filter over the top, so you can assume it's night. They
Okay,
gave her a
maybe-
drink of water, which means that it's been a while because she's thirsty.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah,
people
she's
don't drink
thirsty.
every single day.
Oh my God, man.
And the auto bit at the end is purely simply just a,
Clickbait.
this is going to get people talking. Oh, who did this? Who captured it? Like, and it's going to be nothing. It's literally going to turn out to be a nothing burger.
Yeah, like he's captured by who? I don't know.
He's captured by someone and then gets released immediately on that first episode.
And then look, we're diverse. We know diversity.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a black character and a white character. Oh no, it's Mud. Never mind.
No, it's mud. It's mud.
Is that her doing blackface?
Woman face. Woman
Yeah.
face.
This is shoot. What is the movie? I just forgot it. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say Crying Game.
yeah, you pulled it out though. That was good.
Oh,
Also, she
deep
can.
in it.
Yeah. I'm a dude playing a dude playing a dude.
It's a guy pretending to be a female wrestler. You know,
I have
just
no
like in
clue
the
what
just,
it is. Yeah,
just like in the Olympics.
yeah, exactly. She was born
But the
up
girl
in-
who played Helena never looked more beautiful than she did in those scenes.
And old.
Because they
Oh.
have not.
I don't
Yes,
think she
very
looked
true. She
old.
did
She
look
looked
old.
older.
No, that's what
not
I'm saying. This is the
old.
oldest that she's looked. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, this is the oldest you've ever
Mhm.
looked because this
Yeah.
is the oldest you've been. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
and
She
also
like-
she didn't look.
She-
She turned into this almighty powerful witch. No fluffing
build-up.
around. Blah blah.
No build
You're
up.
going to die. This is going to happen. Blah blah. This is 100% certain. Nothing you can do can change. It's not like gotta watch out on the board. There might be spiders touching cheesecake. You know,
Yeah,
some weird
exactly.
fucking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
I don't-
dragons of thread weaving dragons of this, a dragon of
Yeah.
that. Sure, but all
I
of a
don't-
sudden, like 2 years later, hey,
Yeah.
I got the whole story here.
Two
It's
years,
not
like
even
an
two-
hour
it's
and
not-
a
it's-
half
it's
later.
2 days later. Like it's
Yeah.
the day before her son died.
She's talking
She's
about
going on about
rats
stuff.
and yeah.
Yeah.
She turns into freaking Galadriel for crying out loud, but even Galadriel wasn't that on the nose.
You haven't seen what
Yeah.
she's
Oh.
seen.
Oh
you
gosh,
don't
don't
know.
even start with that crap. But what they should have done, they should
Like
have
a
made
rock
her
in a-
batshit crazy,
Yes.
just like the way she was supposed to be at this point. And if they
Yeah.
wanted to keep the dreamer thing, that actually would have been kind of cool to have seen
Yeah.
a batshit crazy dreamer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
no.
They
It'd
they
make-
actually undermined both Bran and Melisandre with this because
In a second.
because they weren't that accurate
No.
in their
She was
visions
dead
at all.
on. She was
Yeah.
dead
Right.
on.
Brandon can travel through time and he's still got shit wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So I think the boss move for her would have been what she said when he said, "I could have you killed." She's like, "It's not going to make a difference,"
right.
you know, and then just throws herself off the building.
Yeah. She should have grabbed
that
it
would've
and
been
stuck it in her throat.
Yeah,
Her own throat. Ugh.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
hmm
Yeah. Oh, and when Aemon gets mad, towns burn. Don't forget that.
He heard bells.
Yep. Hey, don't forget the God's Eye. The God's Eye. Yeah, it was a rough season. I don't know about anybody else. I think I gave it a 2 or 3. I'm gonna go down to a 1.25. Yeah, it was bad. I'm sorry for all you other YouTubers out there that like it. You're allowed to, but I
Yeah.
also do not have to accept it. It sucked.
We're allowed to have standards.
Yes.
That's how you piss them off.
Oh no,
Dude. Oh my God.
no.
My channel's
No.
under attack.
Yeah.
Kristen 6 says, if it wasn't for Patty Constantine, everyone would have plainly seen how average this show was. You might have a point. Patty was
Yeah.
unbelievable last season. Like really just such great acting. I still enjoy the first season, except for the major going through the dragon pit was like one of the dumbest moments in any fantasy I've seen. I don't know, but I do have something else because we're done with that. I just don't want to, and we're going to be wrapping it up pretty soon, but we have a couple little things here. Kit Harington did an interview and was asked about season 8.
And Biggin.
And he says, I think if there was any fault with the
kid voice. There we go.
Thank you. With the end of Thrones is that we were all fucking tired. We couldn't have gone on longer. And so I understand some people thought it was rushed, and I might agree with them, but I'm not sure there was any alternative. I look at pictures of me in the final season. I look exhausted. I look spent. I didn't have another season in me. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. I think there were mistakes made story-wise towards the end, maybe. I think there were some interesting choices that didn't quite work. He's looking for work,
which is funny because as soon as he wrapped up Game of Thrones and went straight into a movie set.
Yeah,
so he couldn't have been that tired.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No, he went to rehab.
Wasn't there?
He went to rehab.
Yeah, I was just saying he went to rehab.
In
right,
my state,
yeah.
In my state, what were you going to say, Stig?
Well, meanwhile, soap opera actors
Mm-hmm.
do way more episodes per year, and some of them have been doing it for 20 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, comedy shows as well.
Yeah.
X-Files. I mean, 25 episodes per season.
Yeah, and you're doing 10,
and
not even less.
Gillian Anderson can do it, but he can't.
Right.
But they didn't have to deal with like Dan and Dave, who would apparently they like wrote some fake scripts and were like in season like 3 or 4, and we're like, oh hey, guess what? We're gonna kill your character off. And they didn't tell them that it was a fake script until the day of filming. So they had it for like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks or something.
Then they hand the new script and they're like, you got 4 hours to learn your lines.
Yeah. They were.
Apparently, they were major sadists. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's talking about when he said he was exhausted. Though the fact is that since it wasn't a normal set, and remember, Bran thought that his script was fake when he got the one. He's like, "Oh, this is the fake script." When he was said to be king.
Yeah, they do. If you ever watched, like, there was something like After the Thrones, like the making of that last season, and when Dan and Dave actually show up on set, it is almost like people are terrified. Like you see people like looking down, and Benioff, he walks around. That dude, man, if I ever meet him, I'm just gonna be like, you are not that fucking important. Like that dude.
Yeah.
The arrogance from, like, you see him in season 1, he's like, yeah, we're gonna go out drinking, woo, we won an Emmy, this is awesome. And by season like 5, 6, he's like, he talks like he wrote the books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this fucking guy's an idiot.
So you're nicer. I would just punch him. I mean, no words.
Here's another one though.
Right? I wasn't being pranked. The White Walkers are approaching! Battle stations! Prepare for the most epic battle of all time that nobody will see because it's too dark, and we'll say it's because they have bad TVs. Everyone, fire! What happened?
He's dead! He's alive! He's dead again! All sorts of, trust me, very expensive and groundbreaking effects.
Oh my God! Man, stop! That's us! That's us! Stop, man! They're giving up and running away! Well, the important thing is we all survived and won the battle against the people that can't die. The battle.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's funny because it's true.
It is.
I like
it's so true. All right, and we have one more I'm going to show you. And I just want to get people's thoughts on if they think it's going to be good or not. Let's take a quick look at this really quick teaser portion of this.
You and I? I'm Sir Duncan the Tall.
That's all we got.
I heard something really weird and disturbing about it. That Duncan is going to be. It's not that he's young and big and everything. He's actually on the spectrum.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh
And
my gosh!
I'm like, no, they're not going to do that. That's why he's. I'm like,
there is no autism in Game of Thrones and Westeros. Okay.
yes, there is. Helena.
Oh,
She has your superpowers.
And Joffrey,
Damn it.
actually.
Yeah, but she gets
Okay.
cured of it. And Joffrey's just a psychopath.
No, he takes everything literally. That's the problem.
Truth. That's why he tries to kill Bran.
Well, I mean, one would think that all three of the Cersei's kids should have had some little issue because of them being products of incest.
Right? A lot of issues. They shouldn't be able to bear children. I always wondered that about. That's why Targaryens
Well,
are
none
magical.
of them did.
But that's why I went to the Targaryens are magical. That's why they're able to. So, real quick, we'll go around. Stig, do you think? Let's just leave that what Grant just said out. Is there a chance that Duncan Egg first season will be good?
Yeah, I think
first
there's every chance that it could be fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's also every chance that they're going to abandon the source material after season 1.
Terrible.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. Season 1's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only 6 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
And from what I gather, it's they're going to do 1 season per short story.
Yeah.
But then what?
Yeah, because they can only do 3 right now. And that second season, don't forget, there's a female character that's could be quite powerful. They could really make her like the star of the second season. I could see that. Okay. Yep.
Oh.
Tina, what do you think? Are you looking
Well,
forward to it?
haven't. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't read the book yet, so it's on my, to be read pile under a lot of other things. So that's why I got to take a look at when it's supposed to premiere to see where I need to move it up the list. You know me, I have faith in all these morons and what they produce. And honestly, I can come away with some enjoyment out of it because even this way, last night I was like, oh. We don't have, I was almost like Game of Thrones. We don't have House of the Dragon tonight. What am I going to do? Oh, well, I guess I'll grab this graphic novel that's been on my to be read pile. And, and I missed it, even though I was disappointed in the season. So I have faith.
All right. Mason?
Well, I mean, I think Duncan Egg will be really good. Can we look at the writers real quick, if you don't mind?
For Duncan Egg?
Yeah, for Duncan Egg.
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, Duncan Egg is also like really important to George, so I'm sure he'll have a much stronger.
So was the character of Tyrion and Daemon.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think it's a small enough of a world without any real world devastating things that there isn't too much that they can really stuff up.
Yeah, and if they get through 3 seasons, though, we're screwed because if they are the first view I get of the She-Wolves of Winterfell, I'm going to be pissed. George better get that book out.
Well, what I think is going to happen, and it's going to annoy me, but I don't think Duncan and Egg are actually going to be together until maybe the 2nd or 3rd episode.
Really, that long? Well, I can see that. I can
guarantee that's
but
what they're going to do.
It's only 6 episodes, dude.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what that's what's going to happen. It's gonna tell them separated, and they're gonna make up a bunch of other stuff that wasn't in the source material, and then bring them in together at the end of the first or maybe end of the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else would suck though? If my egg is Varys theory is correct, because then what happens with Varys in the original show is just gonna make this show pointless.
Right.
Mm.
Who fuck is this guy? They're saying this guy's a writer, but I don't. He only has 4 writing credits that I could see.
What are they?
Hold on. I'm trying to find them actually.
Yeah,
It's
you,
under.
you need to click the writer thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're an actor.
Yeah, you're on producer and actor. So see.
Here we go, writer.
What?
If Craigslist made a dating app, short, HBO presents Dunkin' Egg, Nepotism. That was a 4-episode series back in 2013, and Vanglory.
These all look like homework assignments from
No way.
But
This,
why does it say
class at
2017? The Dunkin' Egg.
yeah, this. I don't know if this is real.
Are you looking at the right Dunkin' Egg? Because that said 2017.
Oh, maybe I am wrong. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry about that, but it says Dunkin' Egg. Okay.
It's not called Dunkin' Egg. It's called Hedge Knight.
Oh, is it? Okay, shit.
Or a night of the.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Yeah.
There it is. Oh, you just went past it. Oh,
Stop it.
What are you doing?
I'm doing it right now.
Stop.
Stop yelling at my mother. Writers.
It's under writing.
It's under all cast and crew. Here we go. Martin, they're saying, has 1 episode, maybe.
No, he's getting writing credits simply because he created the whatever it's based on. I mean, George Lucas is getting writing credits for stuff still.
The Last Ship, The Nevers. This person was a writer.
Oh, I liked the first season of the Nevers.
Wait, is this the brother duo of writers?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And The Nevers that's girl power though.
Yep.
A lot of people like The Last Ship. Yeah, this is Ira and Martin. And Martin where's your credits? Only 1 credit. There's only 1 credit for Martin. Maybe
it's not.
Wow. How
Nepotism.
Nepotism. You.
Yeah, no kidding. See,
what have you done in the
cheated
film
off of
industry?
Ira's.
I was there.
I don't know what is going on. You would have an updated one if this should be up to date, right?
Yeah.
I would think so. I mean, if you would make sure that you updated it or your publicist did.
Yeah.
If you were attached to this big of a show.
Just in case my history's wrong.
Danny Webb is in it.
Who?
Danny Webb.
I know that name.
He was the only one who survived Alien 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really good actor.
Oh, I remember. What role is this? I've seen Pennyworth. Or Penny.
Yeah.
Is that the one about
Penny
No,
Alfred.
it's about Alfred. I actually like that show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shit, what was I saying?
I don't know. Nothing that made points. Just kidding. Yeah, they have every casting, everything. So they would have all the writers. And we're just seeing these 2 guys. One has only this as a writing credit. And Ira Parker, The Last Ship, which a lot of people did like, The Nevers, and Rogue.
He has written some House of the Dragon stuff too.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
Or co-executive. Oh yeah, so that's why he got the job.
I'm guessing these are House of the Dragon 10 episodes, co-executive producer.
No, this is but you're not looking at the writing.
Here's the writing. House of the Dragon 1 episode, Better Things, The Last Ship, 4 in the Morning, Rogue, and the Pinkertons.
Not but it's only like 1 episode.
Well,
it's not a lot.
No, 15 for Rogue. I don't even know that show. I don't know what that was, but everything else is a couple here or there. Oh man, we're screwed. All right. Well, I feel a lot better.
Oh, there you go. That's the question I was going to ask. I'm not sure about my history, but old bud that's the maester up at the wall, the Targaryen, is that Egg's brother?
Say that one more time.
Yes. Egg.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Aemon, right?
Yeah, Maester Aemon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they offered him the kingship. And
But he'd already taken the black, didn't he?
He already took the black,
Yeah.
and he wasn't going to. They were like, they'll let you, absolve your vows, blah blah blah, and that's why he had them send him to the wall.
It's interesting that he went there when Bloodraven did.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
I think there was a point to that, right?
Yeah.
Did he send Bloodraven to the wall?
No. Egg did.
Egg did. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
because
he went to the wall.
The moment that Bloodraven came in and helped him out, then he sent him to the wall. I'm trying to remember it.
Yeah, when Bloodraven was sent to the wall, so did Maester Aemon go to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big clue there. And then he talks to Rhaegar about
the
prophecy.
Raging clue.
Yeah. I knew something would be different and was fine with Viserys, but not how they made him weak and how they doing Helena, Daemon, and Alicent. I think the story is weakened because of I agree, because of the prophecy.
That was the
biggest
nuke
problem.
that wrecked the show.
Yeah. They should never have entered that into it, because by then it was lost. It was lost. The prince that was promised may have been known through the Targaryen family line, but it wasn't connected so much directed to the White Walkers. It was just he was going to save them from something. Like, I don't know. It to me, it's like, I don't know.
I would think that they would want to distance themselves from the Game of Thrones, not try and connect the two.
No, they'll do an entire episode of a series that just follows the history of the knife and how it gets to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's all connected.
You got to make sure you see the knife. They have it in every
Maybe
scene.
it's the translation that's messed up. It's supposed to be the long knife, not the long night.
Yeah. Right. I mean, look, they put the knife in so many scenes too, as like a nonchalant, like this scene here.
Where's the best place for content on the world of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
that dagger.
Sporking News Podcast with me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe.
All right, everybody. I got to get going, but thank you all for being here on our early show. We had a great turnout. Make sure if you're new here, subscribe. Check out everybody on the panel. Definitely Mason. We need him to get over 100 so he can stream and stuff. Miss Martin Muses, you have anything you'd like to share? What's coming up with you this week?
Well, for sure. I've got some videos coming up, actually a new one where I have what happens next after season 3, according to Fire and Blood. So if you wouldn't mind checking out some of those videos, and I'm going to be doing the Battle of the Gullet a little bit later. Also some more Tolkien content for no reason whatsoever, because as we know, Rings of Power is starting up again. So look at some more videos on the writings of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Nice. Anybody else?
Yeah, tomorrow me and Maura are doing our top 10 favorite 1990s movie list.
Nice.
Like movies from 1990, not
That's awesome.
All the 90s.
Steve, can I correct you? It's Wednesday for us. It's tomorrow for you. So it's going to be on Wednesday, everyone, not Tuesday. Wednesday.
Yes, you may correct me whenever you wish, madam.
Okay, you're welcome.
Just don't expect me to like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's tomorrow for you because you're in the future. But it's a Wednesday.
Exactly.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah, I know. You're ahead of everybody, Mr. Future, man.
To end with something else positive,
Mhm.
if you're very disappointed with House of the Dragon and you still like fantasy, Disney did do a decent job adapting. Oh man, don't get
Percy
old. It just literally
Jackson?
split the. Thank you, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. It was really, really well done. It followed the book beat for beat. So
Yeah, I like it.
The main actress, the young lady, I think she was horribly miscast. She's not a good actor. But other than that, I mean, it really followed the books, at least the first book, very closely. So give that a look if you still want to admit you have a subscription to Disney Plus.
Yeah, right. And maybe we'll cover Rings of Power too. I don't think I watched the second season. Is this the second season? Because I don't even think I saw.
Rings of no brain power. That's what I call it.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover that too, just for the hell of it. Mason, anything to share before we go?
Not really. I think I'll be starting my season 2 rewatch and writing down my thoughts for a review. So
Nice. Feel free to cut up any of my streams where I'm talking shit. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's always a good time seeing you all. I hope you guys have a great one. Make sure you come back next week, and we'll see what we'll cover then. Other than that, I hope you all have a beautiful night. He's not here.